I'm just so grateful to be pregnant because my husband and I, we had some infertility issues. I know from personal experience that if you have infertility issues, it is so therapeutic to speak with someone else that has had a similar situation. Or, I'm hoping that even though we're not talking directly right now, I hope that I can help you in some way or bring you a little bit of hope, maybe. I really hope so. Before I get started, I just want to say that I'm fully aware that compared to some people's infertility issues, mine are like nothing. That people go like years and have to go through really expensive treatments and all this stuff. So I'm totally aware of that, and I'm not saying that my story is the worst by any means. But I think even if you have minor infertility issues, it's so painful when you want a baby so bad. And this is where I'm probably going to cry on you all, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time. But I am emotional about it. So basically, for the past year, my biological clock really started to tick loudly. I was nearing 30. I'm 30 now. But when I was like 28 is when it really got in my head. The whole year I was 29, I was like, I'm ready. And never dreamed that I would have the trouble that I had. So basically, I went off birth control and immediately realized something was wrong because I wasn't having a period like after months of being off birth control. No period. I was breaking out like crazy. I mean, like, I'm always acne prone, but it was so much worse than that. I started noticing hair, like black hair on my upper lip that I've never had before. So I do have a medical background, so I was pretty sure I had like a hormonal imbalance, and I suspected that I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is PCOS. I went to the doctor, talked to her, had blood work done, and sure enough, I have PCOS. And so basically, just very briefly, if you don't know, that means that there's a hormonal imbalance in your body, and your ovaries do not ovulate each month, or at all, which was my case. The egg is not released from the ovary, therefore you cannot conceive. So my doctor basically told me, she's like, it's fine, we're gonna get through this, I will help you. So I'm like still feeling really positive about it. This was in January. So she put me on a medicine called Clomid, and basically it stimulates your ovaries to ovulate. The rest is still up to you, like the sperm still has to meet the egg and implant. So I took the Clomid. She said, if you're not pregnant in 3 months, call me back. So here I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be pregnant in 3 months, I just know it. And month after month, disappointment. Like at first, I still wasn't ovulating because I used the little ovulation predictor kits. And for like the first couple of months, or really the first few months, I was not consistently ovulating. I think I ovulated like once in the whole 3 months. And even then I didn't get pregnant. So I called her back, and at this point I'm starting to get a little worried. And so she increased my dosage of Clomid and said, if you're not pregnant in 2 months, call me back. So here I'm like, awesome, I got more, this is gonna work. So I did everything I was supposed to. The predictor kit said that I was indeed ovulating, so I felt so much better about that. But still nothing happened. Just still every single month, I would just be absolutely devastated. And it came to a point where I became literally obsessed with getting pregnant and having a baby. It consumed my every thought. And at this point, I was 30 years old. My husband was 38. We don't have any children. I just reached that point in my life where I was ready for that. And he was very supportive, and he wanted a baby too, but I think it's different for a lot of men. Like, they just don't understand fully the way that you do. And I tried to explain it to him. I'm really sorry, like, I'm starting to get emotional. I'm sorry, you all. But it's so painful. Like, if you've been through it, you know what I mean. The way I tried to explain it to him and the way I really felt is when you finally realize you are ready to be a mother, it's like literally someone has a rope tied around your waist and they're pulling. It's like a pull. Like, I couldn't think about anything else. And still nothing was happening. Like, we went another few months with nothing. And so finally, she told me that I probably have what's called a luteal phase defect, which is where even if sperm and egg meet, my lining of my uterus is not thick enough for the embryo to implant. So, like, even if my egg was being fertilized, I was just passing it every month because my endometrium, my lining of my uterus, wasn't thick enough to support a gestation. So she prescribed me progesterone to take in addition to the Clomid. The next time that I could go back to see her, I had to wait like a month, and I didn't have any more Clomid left and not a prescription refill for it. So it was the month of August that I had to wait. And I was like, seriously, I'm not going to ovulate without Clomid. I can't get in to see my doctor to get Clomid. So August is just going to be like a totally wasted month. And that's the attitude I had. Like, I didn't want to waste one single second. Like, every waking thought was of conceiving. And it's really not healthy. It turned me into this bitter person that I didn't recognize. And with my job, like, I'm around a lot of pregnant women. And it got to the point where my job was painful, especially when I had to deal with these women who didn't mean to get pregnant, weren't happy that they were pregnant, who had like a million children, and then is like having another one, which I know there's nothing wrong with like having a lot of kids, but it's just another story. Just trust me. This is like the way I was feeling. Like 14-year-olds who came in pregnant, I was just very bitter. Facebook was very painful for me because there was a lot of people pregnant at the time, and I was just mad at them. And I know that sounds crazy, and that's not how I am, but I was so consumed with this that's the way it made me feel. So anyway, I was really frustrated that August was going to be like this waste. And also my doctor, before this, she had wanted my husband to get himself checked too, because, you know, there might be something wrong with him also. So it took several months to get him to do that, but finally he agreed. And so in the month of August, when I was waiting to go to the doctor, he was tested. And the results were pretty devastating. His sperm count was okay. It wasn't like low, but it wasn't good. It said that they weren't moving the way they should, which is detrimental to trying to conceive. And there were more abnormally shaped sperm than normal shaped. Abnormally shaped sperm cannot penetrate an egg to fertilize it. So, I mean, I was just absolutely, I felt like I was at the end of my rope. it was a very hard pill to swallow, because I'm like, here, I have these problems. And it's not enough for just me to have the problems, like now him too. And I just didn't understand why, when we wanted a baby so bad. And then I know that there are people who don't want kids that are very fertile. And I was frustrated because I know that our kid will be very blessed, because well, for one thing, we want it, and we can give it a pretty good life. And so I was really, really frustrated and just brokenhearted over that. So anyway, I went ahead and took an ovulation test anyway, the month of August, just because I was like, you never know. And sure enough, I ovulated on my own. I really didn't even want to try because I was so frustrated. I'm like, well, he has problems too. What's the point? I'm so glad that I did have someone to talk to. I talked a lot to my friend Kristen, Beauty Moxie. You all know her. And she was just... I don't think she knows how much she helped me. But during that time, she was like, no, you need to go ahead and try. You never know. And at this point, my doctor had also given me progesterone to take. So I tried, took the progesterone, and like 2 weeks later, I got a positive pregnancy test. I've got to get a hold of myself. I really did not want to be emotional on here, but I really can't help it. And I know that if you have had trouble conceiving, then it's such a painful, frustrating, maddening experience. And I totally understand. Including the months before I really knew what was wrong with me. It was like a year later that we finally conceived. But once I went to the doctor and started the Clomid, that whole ordeal, it took 9 months. And like I said, I know that that's nothing compared to what some people have to go through. But it was still very, very painful when I wanted it so bad. So that's kind of my story. I'm really sorry. But I'm so happy. I'm just ecstatic. I can't wait for everything that's to come. I'm kind of nervous, but mainly I'm just really grateful and really happy. So I'm trying to think of what else you all might want to know. As far as updates on my channel, I'm not sure how that's going to go. I definitely don't want to start a second channel. It wouldn't be good for me. And I don't want to overload this channel with pregnancy stuff. So what I may do, instead of doing weekly vlogs or whatever, is I'll just do them every now and then. When I hit a milestone, I'll come on here and let you know. Follow me on Instagram, because I'll post pictures and stuff more on there. So if you are interested, you can just follow me on there and you can see how I'm growing, how big I'm getting, and pictures of the baby, when I get those. So I think that's it. I just want to thank you all again for your concern about me, asking where I've been, and I hope that you understand. I know it was kind of hard for me to explain, but I hope you understand why I've been kind of missing in action. So I'll have my links for Instagram and Twitter in the info bar. I'll also list all the products I used today in case you're interested. And I just want to thank you all for letting me share this news with you. Thank you for putting up with my boo-hooing. And let me know if you are having similar issues as me. If you're struggling with infertility, let me know in the comments, because I would like to say a prayer for you. I really feel like that helps, and I was glad that I had a friend to talk to, and I would like to do the same for you because it really does help. It's very therapeutic. So I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for letting me share this with you, and I will see you next time. Bye.